You're watching Talkin Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Talkin Ducks is presented by Pacific Clear Vision Institute and Les Schwab Tire Centers. Welcome into another edition of Talkin Ducks. Plenty to get to. We'll preview the matchup between the Ducks and the Cal Bears. Also, we'll pay a visit to women's volleyball and soccer. They are in the middle of some dominant historic seasons. And we'll also talk about the injury bug that has bitten the Ducks. But for now, let's go ahead and get to our opening drive, brought to you by Les Schwab Tire Centers, where they've been doing the right thing since 1952. Let's bring in the rest of the gang. Joining us from the Oregonian, we have Aaron Fentress. Joining us, who's much cooler than Aaron Fentress, we have Joey Harrington. And also, one that is much stronger than Aaron Fentress, we have Anthony Newman. Guys, great to see you again. And let's get started with you here, Joey, about this Oregon matchup against Cal here in just a few days for Oregon, the Friday kickoff. You're coming off this loss to Stanford. You're getting ready to try and bounce back. This seems like a prime opportunity for Oregon to get right against the Golden Bears.
Okay, this is a prime opportunity for Oregon to get right. Remind me to get back to that, okay? But we have to establish. I got to know, are Aaron and Anthony going to actually agree with each other for the first half hour of the show like they did last time? Because
if
that completely
Newman's as
threw
wise
me
as
off.
he was last week, yes.
Okay,
We'll
so
see.
just as far as I know, like there's going to be that symbiotic, like kumbaya relationship for the first half hour, then the gloves come off. That's good?
Exactly.
Okay. So how does Oregon get right? Honestly, I mean, it's about finding an identity. It's about finding an identity for Oregon. Who are they going to be? Are they going to be a run-first team that relies on a steady quarterback who doesn't make mistakes? Are they going to be a team that tries to push the ball down the field? You know, if you're going to be a run-first team, you're going to have to be stout on defense. You know, we saw that defense in the second half of the Stanford game, really until about the last drive of the Stanford game. In the first half, they were porous. Like, with the exception of that Ohio State game where they truly put it all together, this has been a team that it seems like when one side of the ball is showing up, the other side is kind of figuring things out. And then they kind of flip. One side figures it out, and the other side is a little bit iffy. I think what everybody wants, and you know, I guess I feel like I'm speaking for the team as well, is to use this bye week as a chance to figure out who you are. Hone in on what you do best, and then go out and do it. Because you're getting into the meat of the schedule here where you don't have the luxury to be able to say, okay, I'm going to be a run-first team, but at the end of the game, I'm going to have to throw the ball like crazy. Or I'm going to try and stop the run, but once we give up all these plays, then I'm going to have to come out and be a very aggressive defense in the second half. So they need some consistency and they need an identity. And I hope that the bye week has given the time to kind of self-scout and figure that out.
Well, if
Aaron.
I'm up next, my mic time is going to be real short because it's simple. I think Oregon needs to be consistent in all three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. Be consistent for 4 quarters of football, and that's what coaches are looking for. I think that's what the players are looking for. If they have that, they'll do just fine against Cal. Now, Cal's going to be a well-coached football team. They got some former Oregon players that are leading that team, and Justin Wilcox, Peter Sermon, defensive coordinator, and my quarterback, Bill Musgrave, of the offensive coordinator. So they're going to be well coached, but it's not about the other team for Oregon. It's about themselves and being consistent.
And Aaron, this is a Cal team that Oregon lost to last year. It was a second half game where Oregon was unable to really get any momentum on offense. And it seems like, again, the issue will be the offense for Oregon when you look at the injuries, the fact you didn't have your offensive coordinator last game. Is this going to be as much of a cakewalk on paper as it seems for the Ducks moving forward?
I'm a little surprised it's a 14-point spread because Cal won last year and they won it with defense, and Oregon has shown the same types of struggles this year on offense. If I'm Cal, I'm coming into this game feeling like I can steal this because my strength is my run defense, right? And Oregon's strength on offense is its run defense. So if you stack up against the box and take that away and dare Brown to beat you, you have a great chance to win this game. What I hope Oregon worked a lot on in the bye week was getting the ball downfield, taking shots, forcing some things, even if you just don't complete them, but you just stretch the defense a little bit, make them think you're going to go deep with all these 4-star receivers they have on the roster. I think that can help things moving forward. Also, they need a Ty Thompson package, get him out there a little bit, let him run around and be a threat as well.
But see here, Aaron, I gotta jump in here, Jordan. That's not who they are, though. And that's the problem. Like, you can't just invent this in a week, in a bye week. And I think that's what people are struggling with is this that downfield attack hasn't been part of Oregon's offense up to this point. And I think that's the frustration, is you're seeing this one-dimensional thing come at you. And with the exception of the Ohio State game, when they were able to kind of manufacture and game plan those throws in, you haven't seen that be part of Oregon's offense at all this year. And I think that's going to be a tough thing to just snap your fingers and make happen in a week.
No, I agree they probably can't be consistently good doing it, but don't you think they have to have at least the threat? Because right now, if I'm a defense, I'm not worried about anything traveling, beyond 20 yards.
I completely agree with that, but I don't know that 1 week of practice is going to make me concerned about anything traveling past 20 yards at this point. But that's what they've shown.
Either way, quarterback was a huge topic to discuss after that loss to Stanford. For more on that, it's time now for our Parr Lumber Coaches Report, presented by Parr Lumber. Go where the builders go. Here's Mario Cristobal with a vote of confidence for Anthony Brown.
Well, he's had some really good moments, some other moments where we need to improve upon, they'd like to have back. But he certainly gives us the best chance to win. And he's done enough in practice, and he's done enough in games. I think a lot of times, when you have a game like this and things don't go well, it pours on people, but we don't do that. We believe our eyes, we work at it, we improve, we don't blind ourselves. Everything is always competition in practice. But Anthony has shown a lot, and he's done a really good job in a lot of different ways. And he's going to improve and he's going to get better.
So Anthony, here we have a situation where Anthony Brown had a bad game against Stanford, but Mario Cristobal has his back. Even though a lot of Duck fans might have thought it's time to bring in Ty Thompson, we've seen all that we can see with Anthony Brown. How important is it that Cristobal not only gives Anthony Brown the confidence, but makes it clear to the team that, hey, this is the starter moving forward. This is who we're going with still?
Well, it's kind of funny, do the fans and do we know who Ty Thompson is? And what type of player is he? We don't know that. The coaches know that. They're with him every day at practice. They understand what he's capable of doing. Now, my thing is I'm an Anthony Brown guy right now. He's got 6 passes for touchdowns, 6 rushing touchdowns. He can still hurt you as a quarterback. He is hard to defend as a quarterback. Yes, he's missing some things down the field. He's missing some short throws. I understand that. But it's also about supporting Cass. Can he get some help around him? I think if you go with the veteran, Anthony Brown, okay, and you stick with him for a little bit longer, things start to turn around for the offense. And again, the offense, they need some defense. The defense needs to help out. They need to make some stops, get the ball back to the offense so Anthony Brown has more opportunities to make more plays.
An extra week of practice, Joey, is it enough for Anthony Brown to iron out some of these wrinkles? I mean, he said it himself after the loss to Stanford. He played like, poop, if I used his actual word. That's a quarter in the swear jar in the Kent household. But is a week of practice, that bye week, a chance to stew on this, enough for him to rectify things or at least show some improvement when it comes to the decision making?
I hope so. I hope that getting back on the same page with Joe Moorhead will help fix that. I mean, there is a lot that happens between a quarterback and a coordinator, and to not have a coordinator calling the type of game that you want, last second before the Stanford game, it does mean something. Now, that being said, I think the bye week is enough to readjust, right? Enough to get back into focus. But don't expect Anthony Brown to become a different player, right? And I think that's the thing that everybody is focused on is, well, he's not a down the field passer. They're not asking him to be a down the field passer, right? Remember what Oregon is on offense. Remember what Mario Cristobal's philosophy is. This is not Chip Kelly. This is not Mike Bellotti. This is not spread, chuck the ball, scoring 55 points a game. This is a run first offense. And what they're asking Anthony Brown to do is to make good decisions, to be effective, to be efficient with the ball, to not turn it over. Anthony, you said it just a minute ago, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick, 6 rushing touchdowns. Those are good percentages. If he can continue to do those things and make good decisions, he fits into the type of scheme that Mario wants to run. And right now, at this snapshot, remember, they're still top 10 in the country. They're still 4-1. They're still in a good position. So this isn't something where you go in and blow up everything. Because, everybody is calling for Ty Thompson, but we don't know who Ty Thompson is. By bringing him in this week, you may be fixing one set of problems, but creating a completely new set altogether. And so I think you have to ask yourself, one, what is your goal? Your goal is to win football games with the style of offense that you're playing, right? So you hope AB can do that. And 2, if you hit the point where your season goals are no longer attainable, then I think that's the point when you consider making that switch. But until then, I think you have to go with what you got. And I think Coach hit the nail on the head that Anthony Brown gives them the best chance to win right now.
And Aaron, real quick, is it wise of the Ducks not to overreact to this performance against Stanford, move forward with Brown, and realize you're still in a very good situation when you take a step back and look at the big picture?
Right. For all of his problems, he's not turning the ball over. And I just have to say this to Duck fans because I just see this on Twitter all the time. It's not like Ty Thompson is in practice just lighting it up, killing the defense and destroying in one-on-ones or 7-on-7 and team, and Mario Cristobal is going, nah, I don't want to put that on the field. I've talked to 4 people now with knowledge of the situation who say that Ty Thompson simply is not ready. And so if you put him out there, to Joey's points, yeah, he may be more dynamic because he's a 5-star, bigger kid with all this athleticism and this rocket arm, but he's not going to be able to operate the entire offense, 1, so he's going to limit you, and 2, he's going to turn the ball over. He's not ready. Cristobal is not an idiot. He's going with the guy who he knows gives him the best chance to win based on 9 months of seeing Ty Thompson. This isn't Herbert back there. This isn't Mariota back there. This is a project back there, so people need to get off of that and just let the team try and work things out with Brown as much as they can. But one more quick point. I do think it's time to have a package of plays that you know Thompson can do and get him some reps here and there in the game. And if he flourishes, keep going to that sometimes. If he doesn't, then reel back on it, sort of like what they did last year with Brown behind Shuck.
Can
Let
we
the
just
record
just
show?
Jordan,
that
Jordan,
Aaron-
hold on, Jordan. We gotta give Aaron a little bit of credit, okay? I think that's a decent idea. You know, we can acknowledge decent ideas. Anthony?
Yeah.
Begrudgingly.
All right, with that being said, stick around. Plenty more Talkin Ducks when we come back. We'll take a look back at C.J. Verdell's punctuating performance in the win against Washington 3 years ago. But how did the Ducks move forward without Verdell? Also, Moorhead, will he be back? Calling plays for the Ducks. Oregon trying to deal with a lot of absences. We'll have plenty more Talkin Ducks when we come back.
Parr Lumber is committed to providing the best customer service. We provide personal service. We're problem solvers. We're positive and courteous. We're competent and professional. We are committed to delivering exceptional service every time. We're appreciative and we care. We are Parr Lumber.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we had gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Les Schwab Tires. Proud to be ranked #1 in overall customer satisfaction for aftermarket tire replacement by J.D. Power 2 years in a row.
Eugene Airport is a proud part of what makes Western Oregon such a unique place to be. With nonstop routes that connect to hundreds of destinations, fly local, fly EUG.
Being able to get LASIK gave me the opportunity to not worry about putting contacts in every day, and just kind of made my life a little easier. Pacific Clear Vision Institute was just incredible through my entire experience. The staff was very welcoming. Dr. Embody, he really just kind of laid it out and made me feel comfortable and gave me confidence to know that I was in good hands. I would definitely recommend Pacific Clear Vision Institute for any sort of laser eye surgery.
Sometimes leadership is scary. But so is regret.
You're watching Talkin Ducks, built by Parr Lumber.
Mitchell goes in motion. They hand it off straight in for a touchdown. C.J. Verdell wins the game for Oregon.
And that was our Thing of Beauty presented by Dr. Lee B. Daniel and Aesthetic Plastic Surgery. Live Beautiful. CJ Verdell with the walk-off touchdown in overtime to give the Ducks the victory over the Huskies. But for Oregon, they will have to go the rest of the season without CJ Verdell. As you reported last week, Aaron, no CJ Verdell. He's gone for the rest of the season. That puts so much more of a load on the shoulders of Travis Dye. And then you also look at some injuries to Bennett Williams. This is an Oregon team that's hurting right now, but specifically the running back position. Aaron, what does Oregon do from here? Can Dye handle the extra workload?
It's time for some young guys to step up. You got Byron Cardwell, who's a 4-star recruit, was a top 10, top 12 rated running back in the country, depending on the recruiting service. You got Trey Benson, who's been in the program for a couple years. Both those guys are a lot larger than the 5'10", 190 Dye. They're right around 6', 6'1", 210, 215. So they bring some power to the table. The thing with Dye is I think he has the skills to carry the load, but he's just not that big, so you wonder about the pounding. However, he's about the same size as Kenyon Barner was when he rushed for 1,800 yards, as LaMichael James while he rushed for 5,000 yards at Oregon. But he just doesn't seem to be built the same way. I don't feel like he's as necessarily as tough a runner as those two could be at times. He's definitely going to need some help behind him.
Anthony, how deep do you go with this running back group when you've got some young players that don't have experience? Are you trying to maybe change the way that you're calling plays, or is this, hey, we trust Dye, and this is when you got to step up and be a playmaker?
Well, you're going to go with Dye, but again, he's going to take a beating. I mean, the guys, Oregon wants to run the football, so you're going to give the ball to Travis Dye, and he's going to run the football, but I don't think he can carry the ball 30 times a game. For me, I would look at Jalen Redd as a guy to carry the football, not from a running back standpoint, but maybe from a slot position, the fly sweeps, different way to get him the football as a running back, quick screens. Because think about it, he's been around forever. And the guy is tough, okay? He can run. He has great experience instead of sometimes going just youth. Now, if I'm going with the young guy, I like Seven McGee because I like that speed. Speed kills. So, but still, Travis Dye has to be the guy. He's going to be the bell cow, and we'll see how long he will hold up.
See, Jordan, I think this is a time, like we've talked about Ty Thompson, and we talked about Anthony Brown, and how it takes a little bit longer to truly jump in and be ready as a quarterback. If all these recruits that have been coming in for all these skill possession 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, which you know how much I love recruiting, give them a chance to play. Right? This is an opportunity. Is it great that CJ Verdell is down and out? No, it's not. That's not what you want. But what it does is, sure, you're going to give Dye a few more carries, but it gives these young guys an opportunity. And how many times have we actually been pleasantly surprised? Didn't LeMike come in as a freshman? Right? Didn't he kind of get, if I remember correctly, LeMike came in after an injury as a freshman, and it's like, oh, how's this guy going to do?
LeGarrette Blunt punched after the...
It was, that's what it was. Players
okay,
maybe injured,
well, rewind that. Didn't LeMike come in a different circumstance? Point being is he came in early and he played well, right? We don't know what these guys can do until we've seen them on the field. And that's my biggest thing with recruiting is like, great, they're a 4-star kid from high school. What can they do on the college football field? And being a running back and saying, here's your hole, here's your protection, as a freshman is different than being a quarterback and having to manage the entire field. So I'm not too upset with, I shouldn't say upset, but I'm not nervous about putting young running backs in the game because, Anthony, like you said, speed kills. Get them on the edge, get them the ball in their hands and see what they can do.
All right, time to put things into focus, brought to you by Pacific Clear Vision Institute, the official eye doctors and eye surgeons of the Oregon Ducks. And Aaron, Joe Moorhead was absent from the Stanford game. Oregon trying to win on the road in a difficult environment for Oregon historically without their offensive coordinator. Moorhead is expected to be back calling plays this week against Cal, but how much of an impact does that truly have, not having your offensive coordinator there? Because we know Cristobal is an offensive line guy, but for this Oregon team, it sounds like that having Moorhead back is going to be a significant change in a net positive way for Oregon.
Well, obviously, your offensive coordinator coordinates the offense, so it's his game plan for the most part. And if he's not there to implement it, you're going to have some drop-off. I heard Mastro, they felt, did a solid job. I mean, he's the running backs coach. He should know the system as well. He knows the game plan. So I don't think that's why they lost, but clearly your offensive coordinator is your offensive coordinator for a reason. I think Joey could speak to this about how much it would impact him. You know, had Tedford been sick and missed the game and someone else is calling plays, heck, I think Joey would just be like, nah, I got it. I'll call my own plays.
let me jump on what Aaron's saying here. So does everybody understand the offense? Sure. Does the running back coach have the game plan and say, all right, on 3rd and 6, here are the list of plays that, you know, we can run, and here's what we have on 3rd and long and 2nd and short, right? Everybody has that. But what Tedford and I would do before every game is we would sit and we would just go off, you know, when the special teams is meeting, and we would sit and go through that, the two of us. And he'd say, all right, it's 3rd and short. Of these 6 plays, what do you like the best? And I would say, okay, I like choice, 388 choice, I like 747 throwback, whatever the call is. And he'd say, okay, I'll call that one first. I'll call that second. But what about this, Joey? I really like this against this. Oh, I'm not comfortable with it, right? You have these dialogues. You can communicate. So what I saw that was missing in the last game against Stanford was that comfort that existed at Ohio State, right? Anthony Brown and Joe Moorhead were on the exact same page, and Joe Moorhead designed that game plan so perfectly to create the situations that he and Anthony had talked about already. When Moorhead was not there, it seemed like the plays were simply called off the list, which was right, right, Aaron? They all know the plays, but it's a matter of knowing what's coming, about knowing your quarterback, knowing what he likes, knowing what his strengths are. What can I do to put him in a good situation? And that stuff doesn't just happen by calling a play off a list. That happens by developing a relationship. And those things change and you know, move during a game. There's a flow to it. It's not just this static calling something off a list. So Aaron, I would say, while it's not the biggest factor, I absolutely think it was a factor in the game against Stanford. And I don't think it can be ignored.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Oregon offense looks like with Moorhead back on the sidelines, and how will Brown look as well too. But don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll talk about the toughest Ducks of all time, pound for pound, because we get a chance to catch up with the stud of the Oregon defense this year, Verone McKinley, when we come back on Talkin Ducks.
Parr Lumber is committed to providing the best customer service. We provide personal service. We're problem solvers. We're positive and courteous. We're competent and professional. We are committed to delivering exceptional service every time. We're appreciative and we care. We are Parr Lumber.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quadtrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
In the heart of the South Willamette Valley, just 12 miles southwest of Eugene, distinctive handcrafted wines are waiting for you at Sylvan Ridge Winery. Sylvan Ridge Wines bring unassuming, casual elegance to your homes, tables, and celebrations, and are best paired with the mainstays of a social gathering: good food, fond friends, and lively conversation. Discover our wines by visiting our tasting room. For a list of events or to plan your visit, go to sylvanridge.com. Proud partners of the Oregon Ducks.
Since 1961, Comfort Flow Heating has provided service to more than 50,000 homes and businesses in the Willamette Valley. While the technology and techniques in our industry have changed, our founding principles have remained the same: to provide exceptional service in all areas of our business and for our customers to enjoy their products from us and be comfortable for years to come.
From all of us at Comfort Flow, thank you for choosing us.
Go Ducks!
Stories tell us that great leaders are anointed at birth, chosen by the hand of fate. But those are just stories.
You're watching Talkin Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Welcome back. Let's check out our solid stop, brought to you by Milan Stoneworks, bringing you the finest stoneworks in the Northwest. And how about Jalen Red laying the lumber here against Stanford? Red, obviously dominant for his size, which leads to another interesting conversation. So after the incredible blocking of Red, it led us to think about guys who are the toughest Ducks pound for pound. Now, three of us played a lot of Oregon football, and of course, our master journalist here has had a chance to cover decades of Oregon football, but I'll get the conversation going, and I think about some of the elite players I played with in my couple years at Oregon. One name stands out: Patrick Chung. Dude
Fair.
was all over the place.
Fair.
Tough as nails. We saw him play in multiple Super Bowls for the Patriots, but when he was at Oregon, it was crazy because he was a year younger than everybody. And whether it was returning punts, playing special teams, starting at safety, or rover back, whatever they called him at that time, dude was tough and never missed a game. So pound for pound, I'm going with Patrick Chung.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm going to jump in here. You know, back in the days of Iron Men and wooden ships, you know, when people were simply built stronger and tougher and more resilient, you had guys like Anthony Newman. You had guys who just knew how to put their face mask in somebody's sternum and drive them into that turf at Otson, and then get up and stand over the top of them and say, yeah, we may be 3-8 and we may have lost to the Beavers every year, but I'm tough. Go back to California with your win, but I'm going to walk out of here with your manhood.
Wow. All right. Hey, and he played 13 years in the NFL as a DB. That's some serious
Not too
toughness.
bad. Not too bad.
I'm going to go with the Michael James, who I mentioned earlier. 5'9", $195, soaking wet. Rushed for over 5,000 yards in the Pac-10-12. Carrying the ball 770 times. I was at the game against Cal when they took my man's arm and bent it back, damn near to where his palm like touched the back of his shoulder. Like, it was crazy. And he came back a couple weeks later. That guy ran. He reminded me of Walter Payton in terms of his toughness. You know, not big, but toughness inside and then able to bounce it and carry. And just the pounding he took. He played like he was 220 and he was a $195. That guy is the toughest guy I've ever seen play for Oregon.
Jordan, I like Patrick Chung, no doubt about it. But I'm gonna go with the running back, Ontario Smith. He was a runner. I saw him up there at Washington State that one year. I think it was the senior year. Unbelievable. I mean, this kid was a pounder. Wasn't that big, wasn't that fast, but he was a playmaker on offense as a running back. That's my tough guy.
Okay, I got to jump in because I was only thinking about defense. You guys are talking about running backs, okay? Ruben Drones. Ruben Drones literally tore all the ligaments off of his ankle, broke his leg on the sideline against UCLA trying to stay in bounds, went to the training table, said, tape me up, and went back in and carried the ball 3 more times. The guy set the all-time record for carries in a single game. That guy put me on his back in the Civil War in '99. Ruben, I'm sorry. I was only thinking about defense, and if we can get a clip of him in there, he was so tough. So tough.
Joey, any other players you want to name? We know you played with a lot of folks at Oregon. You want to just name them all off right now? We only got about 20 minutes left.
There was Timmy and Tommy and Johnny and Jim and George.
Right,
Some guy named Jordan, but he wasn't very tough.
Pound for pound, we had a chance to catch up with Verone McKinley. He's been balling out this year for the Ducks. Here's our interview with him.
Hey, Verone, before the Ohio State game, Coach Cristobal did an interview. I loved it. He said, the guy's just a football player. He's a dude. He's just a dude who goes out and plays. And after that, I was like, okay, I got to pay attention a little bit more. If you're just watching blankly, you saw the pick at the end of the game. But what I saw were little plays. I saw little coaching tips, little plays that may have been missed throughout the game that weren't the highlight, but absolutely changed the course of that game. I want to know how you view yourself as part of this team. What's your role on this team? And especially with all these injuries that have been happening lately.
My role is everything. So, of course, I'm a player. I'm play safety, but I'm super versatile. So I'm that Swiss Army knife. I can be down in the box. I can play man. I can play zone. I can be single high. Doesn't matter. And then I have a coach's background just from my dad. So I like to almost be a coach on the field. I want to get guys lined up. I want guys to make sure they know what they're doing, and I want them to know what the other team's going to do and how they attack us. leadership wise, I know I'm a leader on this team. I mean, there's the general, of course, we've all seen it. There's a reason I'm referred to as the general because I control everything back there. So if guys are down, there's a bad play. I've been there time and time again where there wasn't a play that I liked or I gave up a game-winning touchdown before. It's always about the next play. How are we going to improve? So taking all of that and putting that on my shoulders, I felt coming into last year with the opt-outs and everything, I needed to increase my role as a leader on this team and as somebody that people can look at and lean on and be like, he's ready to go. I'm going to follow him. So bringing that into this year, like I'm comfortable. It's year 3 for me being on the field. It doesn't matter who is out there. I felt like I wanted to go out there and earn our respect as a team and earn my respect individually because I wasn't on these watch lists. I wasn't talked about as one of the best free safeties in the country or whatever it is. So, and for this team as well. So I knew that we have one of the best teams in the country. I fully believe that. And I felt that I'm one of the best safeties in the country. So being able to put those hand in hand and put it all, display it all out there. Of course, the big game, we play Ohio State. The very first thing I said it to one of our corners. We were on kickoff, about the kickoff. I just told him, no fear. We play with no fear. I don't care who is out there, who is in front of us. It doesn't matter. It's all about us, and it's all about going and dominating the guy in front of us, no matter how many stars he has, who's all looking at him, whatever his mock draft status is. We don't care. No fear. So that's my role in this team. And as you can tell, I'm very passionate about it and take it serious.
More Talkin Ducks when we come back. We'll pay a visit to women's volleyball and soccer in the middle of historic seasons, including a sensational weekend at home. You're watching Talkin Ducks.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we had gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Les Schwab Tires, proud to be ranked #1 in overall customer satisfaction for aftermarket tire replacement by J.D. Power 2 years in a row.
Being able to get LASIK gave me the opportunity to not worry about putting contacts in every day and just kind of made my life a little easier. Pacific Clear Vision Institute was just incredible through my entire experience. The staff was very welcoming. Dr. Embody, he really just kind of laid it out and made me feel comfortable and gave me confidence to know that I was in good hands. I would definitely recommend Pacific Clear Vision Institute for any sort of laser eye surgery.
You're watching Talkin Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Time now for some excellence off the football field, presented by Ferguson Wellman. Ferguson Wellman taking a disciplined approach to investing. With the Oregon women's volleyball team, ranked number 14 going into the weekend, a huge matchup against number 17 Stanford, and the Ducks in 5 dramatic sets get the win over Stanford, their first victory over the Cardinals since 2011. That means the Ducks jump up to number 13. They improved to 14-2 overall, 5-1 in conference play. And another large matchup looms. Number 11 Washington coming to Matthew Knight Arena for a big-time Pacific Northwest showdown here shortly for the Ducks. Switching gears to soccer, women's soccer, Leah Freeman setting the all-time shutout record at Oregon in one season with their 8th shutout. Ducks get the win over ASU 1-0. Oregon soccer now with their best 13-game mark since 1981. Yes, that's right. The best season in the last 40 years. They are sitting at 8-1-4 heading into the next week of conference play. Let's fly around the Pac-12 courtesy of Eugene Airport. Fly easy, fly EUG. Well, the Pac-12 continues to show incredible depth. But that depth is the double-edged sword for the conference. Already, teams have gotten multiple losses. The conference is beating itself up. Started the year with 5 teams ranked in the top 25. Now just 2 teams, Oregon at number 9, Arizona State number 22 after the Beavers fall to Washington State on the road. Aaron, let's start with you. What do we make of this conference? Is it now Oregon and Arizona State as the 2 teams leading their respective divisions, or is it still up for grabs for the most part?
Absolutely up for grabs. This conference is a circus. There's no way anyone can tell me that Oregon and Arizona State are the class of the conference. We just don't know yet. There's just too many teams popping up, either getting upset or pulling off upset victories. I could definitely see Arizona State losing a couple. I can still see Oregon losing a couple more based on how the conference is going.
What games do you have Oregon losing still?
Are you serious?
No, I'm just curious. I'm sure inquiring minds want to know.
Just nail them down. Just screw them down there, Jordan.
Oregon State,
I'm not questioning.
UW are definitely losable games. I mean, even the Cal game, Cal's better than Arizona. Arizona was down a possession going in the fourth quarter of that game. I need to see Oregon do a lot more in a lot more areas for me to believe that they're going to run the table, let alone, only lose 1 or 2 games. Well, I think 1 or 2 at the max.
I see Anthony's faces. He's got to follow this. Come on, Anthony. What you got?
No, I just listening to Aaron. They can lose to so and so. Anybody can lose at any time. We understand
That's my point.
Oh, I know, but you're picking these teams. I mean, any game on the schedule they can lose. So you can't just say, well, they could lose. It doesn't matter. If Oregon takes care of themselves, they're not going to lose. End of story. Period. So we can just leave it at that.
Okay.
Well,
UCLA,
Joey, I think
UW,
when you look at
Utah,
what's been happening
Oregon
in the
State.
conference, and people can feel bad about Oregon's loss to Stanford, but you see an Alabama team that just lost on the road to Texas A&M. It seems like nobody's invulnerable this year in college football. So for the most part, this Pac-12, the depth, is it something that's hurting this conference right now or helping it?
You keep mentioning depth, Jordan. I don't know that I'd call it depth as much as I would call it, with the exception of an Oregon and Arizona State right now, a lot of mediocrity. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it's not like any of the other. Washington was supposed to be at the top. They fell off. They lost to a 1AA team. You got USC, who's already fired their coach. Oregon State, who looked like they were rising, goes on the road and they lose, their chance to get back into the conversation. Oregon and Arizona State are the only teams that have consistently been able to stay in the conversation at the top. So I don't think it's depth. I think it's a lot of mediocrity. And honestly, I think Anthony and Aaron are somewhat agreeing on the exact same thing. They're just choosing to fight about it. Anybody can lose to anybody at any time. I mean, that's the reality of college football right now. We saw it last week. Like you said, A&M beats Alabama. It's nice to see some parity in college football, but it just places a premium on doing everything right, week in, week out, day in, day out, and understanding how important it is if you want to be there at the end.
All right, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at Oregon's perspective at this point in the season. They're sitting top 10 in the polls. You still have several games left on the schedule. Should they feel optimistic about what's going on, or should they join Fentress in Negativeville and think about a couple of games that might drop? Don't go anywhere. Talkin Ducks. We'll be right back.
Sackville.
Parr Lumber is committed to providing the best customer service. We provide personal service. We're problem solvers. We're positive and courteous. We're competent and professional. We are committed to delivering exceptional service every time. We're appreciative and we care. We are Parr Lumber.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quadtrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Since 1961, Comfort Flow Heating has provided service to more than 50,000 homes and businesses in the Willamette Valley. While the technology and techniques in our industry have changed, our founding principles have remained the same: to provide exceptional service in all areas of our business and for our customers to enjoy their products from us and be comfortable for years to come.
From all of us at Comfort Flow, thank you for choosing us.
You're watching Talkin Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Welcome back. Let's get to the hot topic, brought to you by Comfort Flow Heating, the HVAC industry leader in Western Oregon since 1961. Well, gentlemen, Oregon, even though they lost to Stanford, we hate to bring it up, but it was still the most recent game the Ducks played. They're sitting at number 9 in the country. They've only got one loss in conference play. Seems like the conference is wide open, and when teams like Alabama are even losing, you know it's a crazy season in college football. All that being said, the question is, should Oregon feel good about their current situation and possibly feel like they're the front runner in the conference? Or are there still reasons for concern and reasons to be worried about things here? Because, Anthony, this is a team that a week and a half ago felt like the sky's falling, but now that the dust has settled a little bit in the world of college football and in this conference, Oregon's sitting pretty good at this moment.
Well, here's why I think they should feel good. Because they had a bye week. And in that bye week, you have a chance to heal up. I mean, when you're going and you're playing week after week and you're beat up and you're taking a pounding and you're struggling a little bit, you don't have time to catch up. You can't get healthy. Well, Oregon had a chance to get healthy now and then work on fundamentals and technique and get sound and what they need to do. That's why you feel good. And you're 4-1. Okay, you're not losing football games. You're 4-1, and you lost the game that you should have won. So I think these players are feeling good. The coaches are feeling good. They need to get on the track again, get to moving. Everybody's healthy. Not everybody, but the guys that are playing, they're healthy, and they should look forward to the future.
Aaron, I know you got some salt to throw on our tang right here, so give us the dose of reality, my friend.
Well, what are you talking? Are we still talking about playoffs? Is that what you're? Are you literally? Like, you mentioned the rankings. I mean, look. I hate doing this, but I didn't think this was a playoff team coming into the season. I still didn't think it was a playoff team after they beat Ohio State. There's just too many question marks. They were flashing against Stony Brook, flashing against Arizona that there were issues, and it came back to bite them against Stanford. I see other games like that ahead. I don't even think the playoffs should even be discussed. I don't care where their rankings are. They need to worry about just winning the North Division. I think they should be nervous. I think they should be nervous because they, other than the upset win at Ohio State, and that was an upset win, they really haven't looked great. And this was a 4-3 team last year, like I said. So I think if I'm them, I'm at least happy I'm 4-1, but I'm nervous moving forward because I have not shown that I'm capable really of rattling off a bunch of wins in a row against what's coming up next. Just my opinion.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't necessarily disagree with your idea, right? What I disagree with is it's stated from the perspective of an outsider, right? Which is you're looking at it and fans and outsiders will, oh my God, the sky's falling, or they're the greatest thing in the world. When you're a player, you look at a win, right? And rarely do you win a game and say, man, I'm really happy. It's almost like, whew, okay, especially when you're in the top 10, I'm glad I didn't lose. I'm glad I did the things to move on to next week, right? And so that's what the players are coming at it. That's the perspective the players are coming at it with. Here are the things that I need to do for this game. You heard it from Verone McKinley. He believes that they are one of the best teams in this conference. He believes that they are one of the best teams in the country, and you need to believe that. That's okay for them to believe. That's good for them to believe. But you can't get out in front and think that, everything will fall into place without doing the thing you need to do right now. They're sitting in a good position, but there are a lot of traps. There are a lot of stumbling blocks. There are a lot of things that need to be taken care of before anything besides Cal is discussed. It is simply Cal, and that's it.
All right, don't go anywhere. When we come back, Matt Preem from 24/7 Sports will give us the latest update for Oregon recruiting, including a couple of recruits visiting Oregon against Cal. Stick around, plenty more Talkin Ducks when we come back. You're watching Talkin Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Welcome back to Talkin Ducks. Oregon obviously very busy on the recruiting trail during their bye week. For more on the latest happenings for the Ducks when it comes to who the next future Ducks will be, here's Matt Preem from 24/7 Sports.
Zeke Berry, a four-star cornerback, one of the top corners out west. He was here for an official visit a couple weeks ago, September 25th, when Oregon actually played the Arizona Wildcats. That was an official visit that was one in which he hoped to make way earlier in the year. He was hoping to get out here in July for an official visit and could not do it because of a 7-on-7 thing for his high school team. And with Arizona's struggles, his play, Oregon really pressing hard on their recruitment, Michigan also really pressing hard on their recruitment, he decided to open things up. And this is a big deal because he's got versatility. He could play corner, he could play safety, he could play nickel, and he honestly could probably play receiver if he really wanted to, or if a school wanted to play him there, he could be a really good asset at that position as well. And it feels like it's going to be an Oregon versus Michigan battle to the end. UCLA, Chip Kelly trying to stay involved there with the Bruins. But right now, this looks like an Oregon versus Michigan battle.
Once again, thanks to Matt Preem of 24/7 Sports. You can check out everything Oregon related by joining Duck Territory. They have specials going on right now to become a better and more educated Duck fan. All right, stick around. When we come back, we'll get ready for our Toast of the Week as Herbert lights up the NFL and give you our thoughts on what Oregon needs to bring to the table against Cal.
Being able to get LASIK gave me the opportunity to not worry about putting contacts in every day, and just kind of made my life a little easier. Pacific Clear Vision Institute was just incredible through my entire experience. The staff was very welcoming. Dr. Embody, he really just kind of laid it out and made me feel comfortable and gave me confidence to know that I was in good hands. I would definitely recommend Pacific Clear Vision Institute for any sort of laser eye surgery.
Eugene Airport is a proud part of what makes Western Oregon such a unique place to be. With nonstop routes that connect to hundreds of destinations, fly local, fly EUG.
In the heart of the South Willamette Valley, just 12 miles southwest of Eugene, distinctive handcrafted wines are waiting for you at Sylvan Ridge Winery. Sylvan Ridge Wines bring unassuming, casual elegance to your homes, tables, and celebrations, and are best paired with the mainstays of a social gathering: good food, fond friends, and lively conversation. Discover our wines by visiting our tasting room. For a list of events or to plan your visit, go to sylvanridge.com. Proud partners of the Oregon Ducks.
You're watching Talkin Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Welcome back. Let's have a toast, brought to you by Sylvan Ridge Winery, proud partners of the Oregon Ducks. And how about Justin Herbert orchestrating his third fourth quarter comeback win of the season? He now has a pair of wins over the Chiefs and Browns over the last couple of weeks. And Aaron, you look at what Herbert's been doing, throws for almost 400 yards, lighting up the NFL at 4 touchdowns. Is it going to be named the Justin Herbert Sports Performance? All of a sudden, the thing that was named after Marcus Mariota, or Justin Herbert, is he going to possibly go down as one of the greatest Oregon quarterbacks in the NFL of all time when it's all said and done?
Well, he's already second behind Joey, or third behind Joey and Fouts, right? Now the last couple of weeks, man, 11 touchdown passes, 0 picks. And he's doing whatever his team needs. Oh, you need 3 touchdowns? No problem. You need 4? Oh, hey, you need more than that? You need me to win the game late? He's doing it all. The thing that's awesome about watching him play, he's so under control. Nothing rattles him at all. He just doesn't care about anything except the next play. He is a next-level QB who's going to put together a Hall of Fame career. I have zero doubt.
Can you imagine, guys, what we would have seen from him had he played in a pass-first offense with NFL talent wide receivers at Oregon? I mean, what we saw from him was fantastic. Took him to the Rose Bowl. But even remember that Rose Bowl, it wasn't a big passing day. It was him using his legs. He has just got such an incredible skill set, such a great arm, such a great knowledge of the game. Man, it's just fun. It's just fun to watch him.
Yeah, I love it. I love the ads out there. There's an ad out there with all these NFL experts before the draft, before his draft, talking about it's a mistake to draft him. Don't take him. Why would they take him? And now look what he's doing. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's fun to watch. X-Duck, you're proud of the guy doing his thing. He's so humble, yet he's hungry, and he's a teammate that everybody loves. So it's fun to watch.
A lot of people cried about Oregon not getting Tua. And I said there the entire time, people were crying about that. He would have been a backup to Herbert and transferred anyway. Tua is not better than Herbert. Then he's not better than Herbert now.
Yeah!
Well, Anthony, to your point, who wants to sit around and trust a couple of talking heads with their predictions about what's going to happen? With that being said, let's go ahead and hit Victory Road, presented by Capital Toyota in Salem. Your way on the Parkway. Guys, what do we need to see from the Ducks? What will they do against the Cal Bears? A chance for a bounce-back game. Joey, what did the Ducks need to demonstrate this Friday night as they get set to try and get back on the winning trail?
Okay, one thing I'm going to choose. They need to hold on to the ball. They need to sustain drives, right? What happened too often, in especially in the first half against Stanford, is they'd get to third down and AB would throw a ball behind a guy across the middle. Punt, give it back to Stanford, they take it down and score, right? When you're going to play this style of offense, which is run first, grind it out at the offensive line and ball control and play good defense, you have to control the ball, right? You can't be giving it back. You have to sustain drives and you have to take advantage. So I'm looking for them. What are they going to do on third down? What does the third down percentage look like? Is it going to look like it did against Ohio State, where AB only completed 50% of his passes, but they were so good on third down? Or is it going to look like it did against Arizona, where they continued to give the ball back to Arizona and give them chances? They can't keep living like that. They need to sustain drives and score points.
I'm going to go on the defensive side. Okay, on the defensive side, on third down, they need to get off the field. Okay, it's been a struggle with some teams getting off the field, getting the ball back to your offense. And the explosion plays. You can't allow the explosion plays. You want Cal to have that 15-play drive and hope they make a mistake in that 15 plays. But third down, you got to get off the field in third down. Third and long, third and short, no matter what it is. So that means you should win on first down, which is going to help you on third down because it could be third and long, but you got to win on third down.
Aaron.
Cal has one of the best rushing defenses in the conference. They're giving up 3.4 yards per carry. They're going to come in and basically, I think, dare Brown to beat them. They've been struggling. They did a good job of daring Shuck to beat them last year, and it worked out. They won 21-17, only gave up 4 yards per carry last year, and Shuck couldn't get him over the top. I think they're going to try and do the same thing this year and force Brown to beat them. They were 4 of 12 on third down last year. They obviously need to do better than that, and that's going to be on Brown. They have to make plays in the passing game. Otherwise, they're not going to reach 20 points, and that's going to put them in position to lose.
Guys, well said. We're out of time. That'll do it for this edition of Talkin Ducks, but make sure you join us next Tuesday. We'll recap the fun against Cal and get you set up for Oregon's next matchup. From all of us here, thanks again for joining us. Enjoy the game this Friday, and we'll see you next week.